game of the series. And Kufra, of course, they're not going to be actually opening things up for the side of Sunsparks to actually go in with that sort of pick. So, Sunsparks here.
Esmeralda.
Yep.
Esmeralda.
Most likely. Most likely.
That, or they're just going to be like, you know what? Hellcrit was too much of a problem last game.
If I were to be in the seats of Sunsparks, I would say the same to the captain, like, hey, should we do this?
No,
like,
I was making a joke about that one. No, do not actually ban out the Hellcrit. Hellcrit wasn't the biggest issue you
they'll
have to
get
deal
debated
with.
if they actually do. But,
yeah.
But even if they actually negate that Hellcrit, at least they will have one less thing to worry about in that sort of sense. But the real problem right here was not really that sort of a hero coming to effect, but it's actually a Hylos ban. Now,
they're changing it up.
Changed things a whole lot. Now, that means this is going to force Todak to actually ban out the export, or even the Kaja that we talked about.
Honestly, they can ban out the Esmeralda, give them the export, and then eventually go for a better pick for yourself, or you can hold it up and pick up export. The question is, how much do you prioritize export? They're just going to leave it all out on the table here. Esmeralda is up on the field, Grok is up on the field, there is no Kaja, and they will have the opportunity to pick up an Esmeralda this time round.
Now we're looking at the members of Sunsparks, of course. No more Death Stares coming out of all these members, but they will instead go in for the Grok immediately. So, Todak, we've already talked about the export most likely coming into effect. So, let's talk about the pairings right here. So, if they're getting the export, what will be the next best pick? Because you talk about Esmeralda, they are locking in the carry.
They lock in the carry. They could go for the Esmeralda here if they wanted to, because, I mean, they've got the setup. I'm not going to lie. Like, hey, what you thinking here, boys? Because you banned out the Kaja. You're definitely trying to set up for something. If not, why didn't you ban out the export? They're kind of using export as a bargaining chip here. It's like, hey, do you want it? Like, if you want it, we can pick it up for you.
Chill.
Finally, someone decides to pick up the chill.
Oh, now this means that they're actually really confident to actually deal with the export. So they're leaving it out in the open once again for the side of Sunsparks. And of course, we saw some of these members who are actually really flexible coming from the side of Sunsparks, and they will definitely pick it up alongside with Masha. So we're already seeing a lot of all these frontliners for the side of Sunsparks. So heading into the second phase here, I'm looking at members of Todak. What possibly would they be able to actually take away from this?
It's tough, because right now, if Sunspark decides to go with the Xborg as well as the Masha, that means Xborg is going to go into the support position. They're gonna have some great wave clear, but again, it's about that playmaking capability like we were talking about just now. I would like to see Fuzugen to play Akai one more time, because he was doing an absolutely monstrous job. But again, stick to the meta, stick to the things that work.
Yeah, and well, Akai definitely wasn't one thing that worked, but they have different sort of plans heading in towards the last game of this first series of the day. And Todak now, having that Lunox being opened up, they're going to take it away from Kill VJ in that sort of sense. And of course, Todak themselves are also very familiar when it comes to playing the Lunox with great high win ratios as well back in the MPL. Now, heading in towards the second phase, I'm seeing a lot of that sort of the possibilities right here. Of course, early on, we see Sunsparks banning out Diggies, so I think that should not be even factored in, because Todak hardly goes in for that. But there was a couple of games that they did actually go for the pick, but Mlbb is that sensible choice.
Todak needs to ban out. Oh.
Whoa.
Your team is
Smart move.
I think the smarter move came from Sunspark, because now they have options of both Kimmy as well. Like, initially they were setting up for both Kimmy and Chang'e, and now they basically get Kimmy for free at this point in time, because you can see Todak, if they pick Kimmy now, it's going to mess up their team composition so much.
Well, I don't think that it would possibly be too much of that thing to factor in, because if you open up the Chang'e as well, it's going to be pretty much a really hard game to play, because you already got so many of these great frontliners. All you need is something that is pretty much well secured to actually protect yourselves, and usually Chang'e could actually cover that sort of distance without fully committing. Well, of course, you could say the same about a Kimmy right there, but I would definitely prefer a Chang'e to a Kimmy any sort of day at all. And Todak's secret strat, bringing in the Malaysian legendary hero bow down into the picture here. Of course, we've seen some great frisk crack being played out by some of the teams of Group A, Group B. Now, Group C, where they're definitely not missing out on this meta as well. Like you said, this will be the Kimmy as well as the Granger, falling in the hands of Sunsparks.
Yeah, I think they set this up absolutely perfectly. The way they played that picks and bans, really, really smart. The question is Xbox still going to be extremely viable in this sort of meta, especially as a support? Yes, we've seen teams do it before, but Baxia is going to be the pick of choice. That's interesting because at least 4 of their members buy healing items, so it makes sense that they want to kind of, you know, go for the backline and deny that healing.
Well, I'll definitely say that Baxia was that sort of a surprise pick that they did not really see coming. But we've seen the Indonesians play all too well. And, well, heading in towards this very final game, definitely we're favoring the side of Sunsparks' composition on how they actually drafted this. And, well, I gotta say, Todak here definitely having the guts to actually leave out so many things out in the open and gave it for free towards the enemies in that sort of sense, which means that this is something that they might have just planned out, which they don't really want to, like, hey, oh, great picks, great meta, and, like, why not we just give them and try to counter it in a different way.
Agreed. I think what was interesting was the Cho pick. They were flexing it for the longest time, and then they finally brought out the Badang, and then it became clear, okay, now Cho is going to go into the tank position. I think it's pretty interesting because, again, in the matchup itself, you have to deal with this X-Borg, and though you have the mobility and rotational prowess, it's going to be a tough matchup still if you put him into the fighter. So it's smart that they picked the Badang. The question is, can they force out, a big team fight? Because Masha is always going to be split pushing, and we know for a fact that the Philippines, they were the ones who decided, split pushing is the way to play the game, and they evolved from then on out.
That's right, and now we're heading in towards this very final game. And wow, how would this be even possible? And, well, when we talk about that Badang coming into play here, and the possibilities of him getting even close to kill VJ is going to be pretty tough to even begin with. So how could they actually play this one? Renzio slowly getting themselves that sort of a proxy towards the side of the bottom side. And now, of course, Sunspark trying to actually focus their sort of forces in towards the top lane as well.
Yeah, and I think Badang is going to be, again, we saw X-Ray on the Leomord the last time. Badang this time is probably going to be the point of contention for the side of Sunspark as well. But it looks like they want to play around their top side a little bit more to have that numbers advantage and, kind of steal away the smaller camps instead of the buffs.
Yeah, and like I would say that they just take anything that they could possibly get for the time being. And now a little bit of challenge over the top side here. Fuzaken trying to actually steal that one. Oh,
he stole it. He stole it. Oh my goodness. Oh, that has got to suck so bad. Now they're under a lot of pressure. Caleb is already level 4. He's going to pressure Chiku out of it. No, this lane is looking so bad already.
Oh no, Chiku is the first one to fall as we see. First blood given away to the side of Sunspark. But here comes E1 on that Baxia, but there is no business for him at all.
This is interesting because we know for a fact, I'm surprised that Moon didn't decide to go up top side. Instead, he kind of chilled up. If you look at the minimap, he went bottom side to take the river crab instead of helping the top side and kind of rotating with his team. And I think that in itself, just like such a small thing of being late to a rotation, cost them so many members.
Oh, definitely it was really costly. And we're looking at that sort of a buff loss was already a huge blow to members of Todak. And now having to actually hug by the corners of the turret and with all 4 members crashing in, well, Sunsparks now having that really great 1K of the difference heading through this game is going to be pretty much well securing themselves this turtle if they were to force out members of Todak.
Yeah, and right now Todak is playing a great game so far, but small micro mistakes have cost them a little bit, but I think they should be able to come back. They were able to play from behind last time. I think it shouldn't be too difficult to slowly come back into this. Turtle is going to be going over to Sunspark. Again, they got to keep abusing their advantage, make sure Todak don't have an opportunity to come back.
Yeah, and I really love how Renzio is playing this Masha as well. From even the previous game, I think that Renzio has been pretty much phenomenal in all these games. And for the side of Fuzaken, of course, now he's playing a Grok, which means that he really got to set the tempo straight for them. And now already taking a little bit of that chunk of the breaks off of that sort of mid lane tower is going to be pretty effective. And kill VJ. did he just steal another buff?
Yeah, they are just denying everything from Todak. It's only 3 minutes of the game, and they've developed at least a 3K goal lead. Chico forcing half the flicker here. Nanas might be able to get a catch. He does actually go for it. Way of the Dragon onto an opposite target. JP was able to get out of the way. Detsunada is coming through. They don't get any picks whatsoever. Sunspark has just turned it up another notch. They're not letting Todak get any advantages across the map.
That's a little bit of missed opportunities, but they're trying for the second time coming. And Replicia is still holding on. And here goes Moon with a flicker as well. This will be a little bit of a goner. And wow, flicker of course being popped, but JP right here will be, of course, just watching things slowly crumbling downwards. But here comes Fuzakin as well, giving some support. Whoa, that's a big blow. And there goes mega kill for the Granger.
Woo, they are getting super far ahead. JP is gigantic. 4 kills under his belt. I think Sunspark is just tired. They haven't even showed their true form just yet.
I told you about JP on those marksmen, and wow, already 4 kills. And this might just be the 5th one coming in, and wow, unstoppable by the way.
Yeah, and Todak is just feeding them the kills at this point. Sunspark is just gobbling them all up. They'll take all the protein they will that Todak gives.
Well, I'm not too sure about protein, and they're looking like vegetarians right now. Like they're really being starved out of all these sort of things that they could possibly get from the jungle. And we can evidently see Sunspark here, when they show aggression, they want to make sure Todak gets nothing in return.
All I can think of is the anime, just the anime glasses. You haven't even seen my final form. Glasses, mirror glass sheen, scoops across his eyewear. Oh, Rezio in trouble now. He's taking quite a bit of damage. He's going to be going down. Finally, a pickoff for Todak here, but what are they going to lose?
Well, maybe the pair of glasses in that sort of sense.
Oh, my glasses.
Well, of course, you can actually change it up to actually see their power meters in that sort of sense. But look at that go. One more tower down, and Sunsparks immediately opening up the map, and I'm not even sure if I'm really seeing this correctly. 5,000 in difference against Todak here.
Yeah.
Of course, we saw that sort of aggression coming from Todak for the past 2 games, and now they seem a little too silent for my liking. And of course, Todak getting this only sort of buff that they could possibly get on the side of Moon, as they are still pretty much, well, not really getting so much of that great levels on their side.
Agreed. Yeah, they're really being starved out. Fuzakin, he's just going to walk in. He doesn't really care. He's so far ahead of the game that it's just like, you know what, power nature, walk in, walk out. Cool, their team is there. Let's bail out. Let's go for a different lane. And overall, Sunspark, they've got a huge lead. And we saw Todak, they only had a 5K goal lead, and that won them the game already. Sunspark now have at least a 6K goal lead. Let's see how hard they want to stop this game.
Well, they can just slowly turn out the red carpets, and Rezio will be rendered down. And wow, here comes Todak trying to actually do hard waste, but wow, that wall charge into 2, stops them on their tracks, and the rest of Sunsparks are coming into the picture as well. And JP now trying to actually take one member off Moon, flickering backwards. That's not the direction that you should even be considering.
Yeah, but again, Todak is trying to play across the map here. 7K goal lead for Sunsparks. This is looking so good for them. Let's look at the replay one more time, because Fuzakin, he knew he was in the bush. He's like, all right, I got to make sure they don't go back. This is 3 kills for my team.
And he already predicted it. He knows that they'll be there, and it just landed perfectly onto 2. Speaking of Fuzakin, he's in trouble right now. He wants to be right in the middle, and X-Ray goes in and kill VJ, force the flicker away, and whoopsie.
You know what? I can respect that from Todak. They were close, but not close enough. Like, that lead was able to keep Sunspark alive for the most part. Had they not... Nanas doesn't get it. Wrong direction, and JP was able to get a free kill off of that. Good attempt, though.
You could see that things are slowly breaking out, and well, things are definitely looking a little bit more bleak for the side of Todak as well, and they are on a different sort of page coming from different members. Like, you saw one after another, they tried to actually dive into the fight, and well, I can't really say all too much about what Nanas tried to attempt right there, and he was already low to begin with, and there's nothing that they could actually do against Sunspark, even if this child decides to hit right in. Like, what? Are you gonna kick up Masha or something?
I really don't know what to say, because like, you are looking for those angles, and when you are playing Tro, you just have to look for these opportunities, even if it might cost you your life. At least trading 1 for 1 in this position for a priority target is worth it.
Oh yeah, and look at Fuzakendo. He's so confident in his approach. He's just slowly showing all sort of the emotes that he has. And of course, we saw a lot of all these great King of Fighters skins as well. If they were to be playing Chao, of course, Nanas, a 0-3-1 right now. Not really the best of stats, as we see Chao slowly falling off the radar here. And Nanas will be heading for a kick, like I mentioned. There's no point even dealing with the frontliners here, and Fuzaken is just blocking him at his time of fun.
Yeah, Destinata even popped as well. Moon is chunked to half. He should be able to heal with no problem whatsoever. But again, Sunspark is so far ahead. 9K already. They have starved out Todak. They are just that anorexic kid in the corner just looking for anything for themselves to try and get fat.
Well, I'm not sure, like, if you have anorexia, you're going to take a long time to even get there to start out off with, unless if they do another miraculous stun to take down this lord, but no miracles will be happening so far.
I mean, you gotta play with the mindset of Nanas. He's trying to make that play thinking he's fat, even though he really isn't. But now, X-Ray is trying to pull out of the way. Brilliance is already pulled up, but they don't want him to go. Flicker comes out. They're gonna sacrifice. No members lost just now, but Masha on the back line kills Chiku solo by himself.
Oh, Renzio, of course, soaking a little bit too much, but he's still well and alive. Monster kill for JP, and how on earth will Toda will be able to even get close to the Granger? Here comes the Lord as well, trying to open things up. E1 immediately melted down like butter. Godlike going in for JP as they crush down the mid lane as well. Here comes the Nuts going on the back. What can they do? That will be one more kill going in for the Kimmy, and now only down to X-Ray as they will take the series, and now Sunsparks will be leading away 2-1.
Again, we haven't even seen their final form, and they decided all of a sudden it's like playtime is over. We need this 2-1.
Yes, indeed, and they needed this so much, and they've just here